Styling a living room appropriately does require a lot of attention to detail as well as proper layouts. Now, if you miss out on a few things that are quite simple, by the way, this is some of the common mistakes you might make that will completely alter the final look that you really wanted to go for. So, what are these mistakes? And of course, we do not want to make them. So, we gotta learn them, learn how to avoid them. And if we've already made these mistakes, then we're going to learn how to fix them today. So, guys, to achieve that proper, beautiful living area, let's all tune in. And I am Faazati Ali, interior designer, and without wasting any time, let's learn the most common living room design mistakes and of course how to fix them. One of the most common mistakes that I have seen a lot when people style up their living room areas is displaying a lot of little items. Now, a lot of times when people are deciding to do that final decor when they're doing their living room areas, of course you want to bring in, a few details such as, vases with plants, a few souvenirs, maybe things you've picked up while traveling around the world and so on. But having too many of these pieces in a space just kind of deems the look of this particular area. So you want to avoid this and just pick a few items that really stand out, that will really create a statement in the area, and use this instead. So go for things with beautiful patterns. Go for items that will just create a bold look in one corner on your shelvings, on your coffee table, and so on. But avoid having too many items. There's this thing where you want to display all your souvenirs. Everything you've picked up on your travels is dangling around somewhere on the shelving, on the drawers, on the console. Some are on the coffee table. We have too many picture frames going on the walls, and now it's just overcrowded. At this point, it starts to look a bit, chaotic because there's just too much going on. Also, a very important rule when it comes to styling spaces is to keep it as minimal as possible and always go for a few statement pieces so that it actually, creates that focal point. When you have too many things fighting for attention, everything looks really good and they're all sitting in one area, it becomes too much for this person who is occupying this particular area because everything is fighting for attention. They have to look here, they're looking there, they're looking at your shelves there. It's a bit too chaotic. So let's tone this down and you'll be on your way to achieving a beautiful living room area. Now, another common mistake we definitely want to avoid that I have talked about few times already in different videos is going for a rug that is way too small. What we mean by this is having a rug that sits alone in the center of the room, sort of like an island, and it does not anchor anything on its edges at all. This is a rug that's way too small because most times it would just be the coffee table sitting on it, and this is definitely not the appropriate size of rug that we want to go for. So we want to always go out there and look for a rug that will be appropriately sized for this particular space. So of course you need to learn the size of your room so that when you're going out there, you know the exact dimensions you're going to be working with when you are looking for a rug. And of course ensure that the rug that you bring into this particular space, when you place it on the floor, your sofa, its front legs, your accent chairs, the front legs and so on, are able to actually sit on it. This will be more appropriate. This will look a whole lot better. It will be able to really just hold together everything within the space, kind of center them, kind of anchor them, and definitely look a whole lot better. So size of rug is very important. When you miss out on this, it will just look like it's floating alone on its own, sort of disconnecting from the rest of the items in the room, and this will not give a great look at the end of the day. Another mistake that people make quite often, and this is when it comes to your layouts and proper arrangement of furniture in the living room area, is to actually push all your furniture pieces or some of your furniture pieces against the wall. Now this is definitely not how it's supposed to be. The only way you are allowed to push say your sofas against the wall and so on is if you have a small living room area. So if you have enough space, the last thing you want to do is push everything against the wall and just have empty space in the middle that just sits, looking like you don't even know what's going on here when you walk into this particular space. So try to do it more appropriately. If you have enough space, please push your furniture at least close to each other. This creates more of a connection within the pieces, and of course it creates a nice conversation area as well, such that if you have guests or you just have you and your family maybe having conversations, having dinner, watching movies, it feels more of a conversational area rather than everybody's just passed out alone on the boundaries of this particular space. So of course, always think about that. Proper layout is very important. Of course, keep in mind that how you lay out your furniture will definitely affect how the movement in this particular space and so on. So have enough space for traffic flow, have enough space to just play around with different items, but ensuring that they actually work and that you are placing every piece in the most appropriate place. Such as if you have a plain wall and if you have a window wall, then of course the best place to place the TV would be on the plain wall rather than on the window wall. That might not really work to the best of your advantage. With that in mind, of course, you'll be able to create a focal point for the TV area and so on. So proper placement, proper arrangement, and this will definitely be one of the most important things you can do when you're trying to create a beautiful living area. Now, something else proper placement and proper layout will make you think about is definitely size and proportion. Now, when you are bringing things into any space in your home, size and proportion comes in quite in handy, because this will allow your furniture pieces to fit into the space appropriately and just allow for enough traffic flow, like I said in the previous point. So you want to ensure that you're picking the right size sofa for your space, the right size accent chairs, the right size rugs. Everything needs to fit appropriately. Going for a sofa set that is way too big for our space is completely going to throw off everything else, because now you can't fit in an accent chair. It's way too tight. Moving around is quite hard. You have to literally squeeze between your coffee table, and it's just not going to give a good look, because it's just not going to look like it's right for that particular space. So that already ruins it. Or going for a sofa that is way too small. Maybe you have a really big living room area, now you have a really small sofa that's floating around on its own. Just, it's not going to work. So you want to ensure that size is one of the things that you think about, so that when you're going out there, you have your dimensions ready, you know what's really going to fit in your space. Don't just buy things. And sometimes when this happens, it's quite a financial loss on your side as well, because I don't think shops really take back furniture. Once you buy it, it's really, you've just bought it. So you'd have to literally buy something else, and I don't know, it's quite a waste of money. So please figure out sizes before you actually bring any pieces into your space, and always remember to have dimensions before you go out shopping for furniture pieces. This will save you a lot of time, a lot of money, and of course your space is going to be styled more appropriately. Now, when it comes to decorating a living room area, something else a lot of people always think about is adding an art piece. And this is completely okay. I love art pieces. I think they look amazing. They're such a great statement and focal point in this particular space. But a mistake that a lot of people make when picking artwork is not going for the appropriate artwork. And this is in terms of the style of the artwork itself, and of course, sometimes as well the size. The size is very, very important. Now, you definitely want to avoid adding small art pieces in your living room area. They do not look great at all, and sometimes they're just floating somewhere super high up on the wall, which is such an inappropriate height for any art pieces. So this is definitely something that you want to avoid. They literally look lost. Like, I always see this and I'm just like, why are they up there? Why are they so far up high? Like, you can't even really see it unless you stretch your neck like this. It doesn't look great. It totally cheapens the look of a home and that living room area, and it doesn't make sense anymore for you to have it in the wall. It's not really creating a focal point. It's actually dimming the look of the space. So go for large art pieces, beautiful large art pieces that speak to you, and this will look a lot better, a lot more appropriate. And something else is to think about the style. I love abstract pieces. I feel like that way you are having your own unique piece that you can just put in your space. It's not going to be matching to somebody else's art piece and so on, because abstract pieces tend to be created once by artists and it's really hard to replicate them. So, and even if they do replicate them, it's just never going to be the same. So this is something else to consider. It's to work with artworks from art pieces. Don't go for printed artworks, or those ones I think are no. They don't look real, so that already cheapens the look of the space. On top of that, they can be mass produced, so a lot of people will have them. It doesn't give your space that unique look anymore. So consider that, go for a unique piece, a beautiful style. Abstract would be best, and definitely a large size. If you're gonna go for small pieces of artwork, then try to create a gallery wall, and this would be more appropriate with frames. So if you're going for framed pieces for a wall, because this is another great focal point, then have a beautiful gallery with beautiful frames, of course, nice pictures. Try to ensure that the tones in the pictures are pretty similar in terms of, color and so on. If it's black and white, they're all black and white. If it's a brown tone, let them all be a brown tone, so that it looks well thought out. Those attention to detail. The frames are all looking pretty, not different frames for every picture. Until now, it's just jumbled up different frames. That doesn't look great as well. So yeah, think about all this when you are accessorizing this particular space. Now, one of the final things I'll definitely talk about is going for matching furniture pieces. Don't be too matchy. That doesn't look good. It's something that was back in the days. It was very common to have your sofa matching your one-seaters and so on. Pretty great for that time, but as times have gone on, and what we see now that looks a whole lot better is just having furniture pieces that are quite different but sort of work together. So you can have your beautiful sofa just a nice neutral tone, or quite a nice design, and then go for completely different designs and color when it comes to your accent chairs. This ties together really well and just looks a whole lot better. So this is definitely my great recommendation, guys. Do not buy furniture pieces in bulk. I know sometimes you go to furniture stores and it's selling the sofa, the seaters. They're all one, what do you call it? It's like one group of furniture that's sort of just made to look like each other. And the deal might be good, but your living room is not going to look good. So avoid it. Just buy a totally separate sofa piece and accentuate it with beautiful accent chairs, maybe with bolder colors, with completely different materials, something completely different that will create a focal point. This will look absolutely amazing. So these are definitely some of the most common design mistakes that can be made when you're styling your living room area. But not to worry, with easy fix like I just talked about, you'll be able to achieve that beautiful living room that you are trying to create in the first place. Something else you definitely want to keep in mind before I get off this video is choose appropriate size coffee tables, and always ensure that you are also bringing in side tables for your accent chairs and so on, because a lot of times the coffee table sits in the center of the living room area. So bringing in side tables makes it quite functional when you are having maybe dinner, you're gonna read a book, and you're sitting far away from the coffee table. You'll still be able to do this quite easily. Appropriate size coffee table, and of course always bring in side tables as well. Anyway, guys, I hope you got to learn something. I hope you'll be able to create beautiful spaces, and thank you so much for tuning in, for watching. Do feel free to like, comment, subscribe, and share. I'll be truly grateful. Anyway, see you guys next time, inshallah, with another video. Thank you guys so much. Bye bye.